Chinese President Xi Jinping has arrived in Moscow for commemorations marking 80 years since the end of World War II in Europe. Now that comes with Russia and Ukraine exchanging airstrikes against each other's capitals. Let's bring in our China correspondent Minmin on what to expect. I mean, this has got to be a pretty awkward situation for President Xi to land in Moscow against the backdrop of these airstrikes.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, not to make light of the situation in Ukraine, but it looks like President Xi's trip to Russia is now becoming this political backdrop for, both sides to wrangle for more influence for Ukraine and Russia, because President Putin had declared a 3-day ceasefire during this May 9 parade, which is when they commemorate the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany during World War II. But Ukraine has dismissed that and said it won't be able to guarantee the safe passage of these dignitaries that are landing in Moscow. So you have the Slovak Prime Minister complaining that he couldn't have safe passage over Estonia's airspace. President Xi, of course, landed safely, but this comes as he made no mention of Ukraine. We know that China has not publicly condemned Russia for the situation. President Xi had penned an article in Russian newspaper calling for both countries, Russia and China, to defend international justice and fairness, and also said that both countries, Russia and China, have mutually supported each other's core interests. Again, without naming Ukraine, he named Taiwan instead. He said Russia has always supported China's One China principle, that Taiwan is an inalienable part of China. And he said we're not only commemorating the 80th anniversary of Russia's win in World War II, but also the 80th anniversary of Taiwan's restoration to China post-World War II as well.
Okay, so what else is on the agenda?
Yeah, he's there to meet with President Putin. He'll be discussing trade and energy issues as Russia faces a threat of the EU potentially severing their energy ties with Russia. We know that Russia has been diverting a lot of its energy supply to China, while China provided that economic lifeline amid those sanctions. Of course, China and Russia also discussing closer cooperation under the BRICS framework and the G20 framework, and also discussing U.S.-Russia relations. So this is really a symbolic show of their united front, right, along with the 30 or so other leaders that are gathered in Moscow to show they have friends around the world to defend this multipolar world order, even despite the U.S. overtures to Russia so far to try to wean off Russia's reliance on China.